based on the same thing, and we use those dollars very conservatively so that we're very confident when we go out and say this event created $1 million in economic impact, or whatever we want to say.
And the Adidas tournament, that's a good point too. The Adidas tournament that we had here, that was, I think Mick had given some estimates for what, and of course these are just estimates, but for what the economic impact of that tournament was. What are we looking at on average if we take a tournament like that, or the softball tournament, so people have an idea of what the economic impact truly is for our local economy?
Again, it's easy to figure out. $80 a day times the number of participants times the number of days that are here. So if you've got $80 times 1,000 participants times 4 days, what is that? What is that?
I'm not going to figure that out.
8,000 times four, you know, it's $320,000. Right. But I'll tell you what the best thing about all that is not only is it the partnership with the city, because we use the Twin Lakes Sports Complex, but we're partnering with the Monroe County School Corporation because they let us use their gyms. We're partnering with IU because they let us use their gyms. It's beautiful because you do all the preliminary stuff at the Sportsplex or even in the high schools, and then these kids get to go and play their championship games in the Assembly Hall.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Right.
So it's great that we can work together like that, and everybody participates, and you know, everybody feels the benefit of it all.
Well, and you mentioned Assembly Hall, and we know that from our conversations that we've had with IU Athletics, they're constantly looking for opportunities. They have a draw already. I mean, you know that people come in for the football games, you know that people come in for the basketball games and the other events, but they have the other opportunities, which is, well, let's host a national track tournament, or let's host, you know, a national event of some kind for the NCAA, which is incidentally headquartered in Indianapolis, right down the street almost. So, so you have that other aspect to it, which is being able to capture what IU is generating, obviously athletics, but all of their departments and all of their programs. And again, it's just making sure, and the mayor has talked about it over and over again, making sure that the city is investing in ourselves so that we have the infrastructure in place. You mentioned the Twin Lakes Recreation Center, you know, a new building that we have, a new facility that we've purchased, and we are, you know, utilizing that as indoor recreation space. Well, you know, a lot of the things that Mike has mentioned, Maria, he can't do and he can't attract if we don't have the infrastructure in place.
Right, and that's why the city tries to develop things with a vision in mind, a vision of making Bloomington a place that people want to be and live and visit and work, raise a family. So we do things like investing in the Arts and Entertainment District. We've created a downtown district that showcases the different areas of Bloomington's art scene, from a restaurant row to the art along the Beeline Trail, which is the artery of our arts district. The Beeline Trail itself is something we've invested heavily in, converting an old rail line into, to me, just one of the most wonderful places you could have in the middle of a downtown community, featuring public art. It's paved so that people can walk or jog or run or whatever they want to do. Right. Those are the things that make a community appealing, and that is really important, not just from the visitor perspective, which of course is very important, but also for people who want to live here, open a business, have a career here, be an entrepreneur. These are the structures that we need to have in place for the community to thrive.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Beeline, and that's an important point. Huge project for us, multi-million-dollar project. It's alternative transportation, it's recreational use, has so many different facets to it, and that's, I mean, a great example of us taking what was existing in the community that wasn't very appealing and really did not serve a function anymore, and turning it into something that visitors, residents obviously, but visitors that come to the community for these special events can see and we can showcase.
Yeah, I think another important point is, you know, all this fits together naturally. Everything that you're talking about art and the outdoors, and you know, parks and trails and you know, fitness or whatever you want to say, and restaurants and things like that. You know, and those are the things that we go out and use to sell Bloomington, and we're not. You know, we're not listening just to you when we do that, or to ourselves. That's what people want when they come on our website. We have 120,000 people. Well, actually, excuse me. We have 20,000, about 25,000 user sessions a month on our website. People staying on there for about 4 minutes. The number one things they're looking for are restaurants, obviously lodging, where they're going to stay, events, outdoors, you know, and then just Bloomington information in general. So it
And
just makes sense with what we're talking about.
And Mike, I'm glad you mentioned the website. We're going to transition a little bit. There's obviously, we've talked now for 20 minutes about all the wonderful amenities that we have, the work that you and your staff are doing to get people here. But there really is a, like I mentioned in the opening, we're a special place. This is a wonderful community. This is a community that, when I got here from a larger city, I was not expecting to find all of the incredible things and the amenities that are here that you just don't find in a community of this size typically around the country. So we know we're a gem. We know we're a gem in Indiana. We know we're a gem in the Midwest. But communicating that to people in the region, to people in the Midwest, to people around the country is another story. It's a challenge for us, certainly. And I think we all agree that once people are here, the experience is tremendous. So getting people here is critical. You obviously do a fantastic job with the tournaments and the events that you bring and the other, not just tournaments. I don't want to imply that it's just sporting. From a variety of different perspectives, the different events that we have that are constantly going on in this community. The city has, with their, together with you guys and the other community partners, taken on this new initiative, the Everybody's Bloomington website, which is something that, Maria, that maybe you can talk a little bit about how that got going. It's essentially a website, and it's got some personal testimonials, a lot of really neat things on that site, a lot of links to sites like Mike's site at the CVB and their resources. Maybe you can talk a little bit.
VisitBloomington.com. Throw it out there. VisitBloomington.com.
VisitBloomington.com is the CVB site, absolutely, and we encourage you to take advantage and log on. Maria, why don't you tell us a little bit about how Everybody's Bloomington got started and kind of where we are in that process?
Sure. As you said, we have a great story to tell about Bloomington, and so we needed a vehicle to do that. So we put this site together that features, as you mentioned, a lot of testimonials from people. The people are the center of Bloomington, obviously. They're the heart, the soul, the community character. We wanted to hear from these people why they did choose Bloomington. A lot of these people could live anywhere in the world. They instead decide to live in Bloomington because of all the great things we have mentioned. So we put together a site that features brief testimonials, stories from people on why they selected Bloomington, what they do here, why they enjoy it, how their career has thrived, what they enjoy doing in their free time, and why they would encourage other people to do so too, either for a visit or to come here and start a business. And I think people like looking and listening to people. So I think going to the site, you'll see all the different kinds of people that make up Bloomington. And thus the name for the site, Everybody is Bloomington, and Bloomington has something for everybody.
And that website is www.everybody'sbloomington.com. Yep. And interesting that you mentioned, you talk a lot about, you mentioned about the fact that we have all these personal testimonials from people and all these links back to other resources that we've got in the community. And I think that when Mike, we came to you and said, well, who can we film and how do we get people involved in this site and how do we really get people engaged in this site? And a lot of it has to do with, a lot of the same things that you're talking about on your site. And I think the idea is not to duplicate, but instead to reinforce a lot of those same ideas. And it's great that you're tracking users on your site and you're knowing what people are looking for, because it allows us to get on our site and shape the information in a way that's going to push people to go search on your site.
Right. Well, we measure everything that we do for sure, and a lot of our stuff is personal sales, but we also do go out and promote the website. Everything is about generating that lead or that inquiry about Bloomington. Call us, order our visitor guide, go online, download our visitor guide, that type of stuff. So we're running print advertising, we're placing online stuff out there, keywords, different things like that, people searching for our site, finding it on Google and that type of stuff.
Okay, one of the interesting things on the site that we have kind of explored a little bit, and we were all in a meeting talking about it recently, was utilizing, we know we have a vibrant tech sector. We've got tech businesses that are here that are functioning already and prospering and doing quite well because there's such an enormous talent pool here, and it's a local economy that fosters that. And one of the interesting aspects on the site is how we have positioned Bloomington as a tech sector destination. We've got information on the website. about that, and in trying to attract, we know we've got special events already. We've got Ignite Bloomington, we've got Startup Weekend, that are tech-specific events that we are going to be showcasing on the site. Maria, maybe you can talk a little bit about how we've developed and how we plan